Hi beautiful souls, happy Monday. It's Shamama Hunting Owl here. I want to thank you all for being here with me today, liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel, and just being part of the tribe. I am in a different venue than I usually am. This is my healing room at my home that I use for when people come for in-person services. And I wanted to put out a message for you guys today. I want to start by us just taking some deep breaths and all of us connecting our energy first. And just breathing together for a moment. I'm going to take my little teeny tiny root chakra bowl so we can ground our energy together. Coming into alignment with each other so we can all receive that which we are meant to receive from the messages for today. So I talked the last video I guess I did on here, I was talking about the loneliness that I was feeling, the isolation of being on this journey, of having people fall in and out of your life due to, you changing. And I want to thank all of you so much for the love and the support and the reminders that I do have this beautiful tribe, that you are all here to support me as well as I am here to support you. But as we know, the journey does get lonely on a personal level in our 3D world. So I want to remind you guys, if you're still going through this, and this is that loneliness, that fear, that is all something that was being brought up for the collective to resolve, to release. Like I said, it was needed for our souls to be able to cry out, to bring our tribe forward to us. So with all of this, as I've been talking about, I know my messages are needing to change, and I discussed this a little bit on Patreon with an Ascension upgrade transmission that I did last week. Those of you who are interested in receiving that upgrade, it was an upgrade with the Arturians and the Palladians and Lady Nada, and it was an upgrade, a clearing, and an activation for us that I channeled while I was doing the video. So please go over to Patreon. There's lots of different tier levels. If you want to get the regular videos, the transmissions like that, it's like $3 a month, so you guys can subscribe there. But what I was explaining in that video is that as I've talked about with you guys, is my role is changing. I am moving away from just talking about the divine masculine, divine feminine, the twin flame journey, and I've been asked to just share more off the cuff, if that makes sense. So as I was explaining, like, I feel like I've always sort of known what the messages are that I need to bring forth before I start talking, and it's always been like I've been a teacher with a curriculum, and what I've been being shown is that now I need to just kind of like start the camera and just start fucking talking. And that which is meant to come out and be received will be received. That which I meant to channel will be channeled with absolutely no preparation. So, and that makes me a little nervous. It makes my little inner child like fucking scared, because like, she wants to do a good job for you guys. She wants to do a good job for herself. She wants to give you the highest quality messages that I can share. And there's that whole 3D attachment to needing to know ahead of time that I have been needing to face and allow myself to just talk however I want to talk and say whatever comes to me that I want to say. So these are the fears that I was facing over the past like 2 weeks. And I've really been resisting it for quite some time now, which is part of why I haven't had so much clarity, because I'm not supposed to know ahead of time. I'm just supposed to get on here and talk to you guys and be myself And that which you are meant to receive, the codes, the activations, you will receive through the messages. So with that, so on top of all of that, I have been purging and revisiting. Of course, we are in Mercury retrograde, so there's this entire revisiting process that I've been going through with mother wounds. And there was a piece of, you know, my adult self has been able to forgive and heal the wounds, the judgments, and give forgiveness to my relationship with my mother, and other female dominant figures that I have been connected to in my lineage. You know, my mother, my grandmothers, my so on. But my inner child self, there was still a piece of her who was very much in a place of holding on to the hurts, the pains, and unforgiveness. So over the past week, I've really just been digging into that. And that also ties in with me being able to sit here and just speak whatever comes to my mind without the planning, because as a child, I was always sort of like told, like, you know, children are seen and not heard. And I wasn't allowed to speak my truth. And if I did speak my truth, I was disciplined or criticized or harshly judged by doing so, punished, you know, abused, whatever, you know, and humiliated. Actually, there were times where my mother would make fun of me, or my parents would make fun of me for saying and expressing myself the way I needed to or wanted to at the time. And so there was all of these pieces that played together in what I've been experiencing. So I've literally been, you know, sitting in meditation and taking that little girl, that wounded little girl, and acknowledging the things that she experienced, the hurts, the pain, you know, the loneliness of being seen and not heard and not recognized. And then when you try to take that risk to speak, that it's going to be judged harshly, or you're going to be hurt for it. So this all kind of plays in together. So I've been taking my little girl, like, in meditation, connecting with her, and really, you know, acknowledging what she went through, and honoring that, and then comforting her and explaining to her what my adult grown-up me understands about how we choose our experiences, how we are, you know, meant to have the pain and the suffering that we have endured, the challenges that we have met, in order to come to the place we are now. So, like, had I not gone through, you know, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, the emotional abuse, all of those things, you know, the wounds, having those wounds so deeply implanted in me, how could I ever help other people to be able to heal from those things? How could I be a facilitator with true compassion and empathy? I had to go through those experiences. So they have given me these blessed gifts, and acknowledging this actually with my inner child, with my little girl inside, and explaining this to her and holding her, and then showing her that it is safe to trust me, the adult me, the healed me, the healing me, the one that no longer holds these feelings of unforgiveness, like taking that higher perspective and showing her that I have learned enough from my journey as an adult woman to be able to make her be safe and protected now, that it's not up to anybody else to make her safe and protected, and that whatever happened in the past with mommies and grandmas and female figures in my life no longer have to play that part, that role in me being an adult woman and taking care of myself and doing what I am here to do. So that's been beautiful, beautiful, beautiful process. And it's not just, again, I'm sharing this because it's the collective. It's what we are doing. It's healing on this level of a deeper level of our mother issues. I also had a lot of guilt and shame come up for me. Guilt and shame related to fidelity, infidelity. And a lot of this brought back, you know, stuff from my past relationships, my marriage, my part in all of that, his part in all of that, other relationships that I've had, and my relationship with my beloved. Many of you have been watching me from the beginning or for a long time when I did share stories about my twin. You know, he was married when we first got together. And yes, I was with him and I was intimate with him, and we shared those experiences, and yet he was married. And I was having these feelings of guilt and shame coming up related to his now former wife, and just feeling bad about the fact that I put myself in a position that I wasn't honoring her or myself. And even though I don't think she even knows about any of this, about the relationship that he and I had, there was still this guilt that I was experiencing, this shame for not honoring myself, not honoring her, and not honoring the commitment that they had to each other. You know, and for a while, back in the day, like back early on, I didn't give a fuck. You know, I felt this connection to this man. I knew who he was to me. I knew what role he was to play in my life, in my experience. And I honestly didn't care. I felt that I was entitled to feel the way I felt and do the things I did, and that the commitment wasn't from me to her, that he's the one who made the commitment to be faithful to her, and he chose to break that commitment. But I played a piece in that. And so there was a huge part of me that had to reconcile that. So, you know, I did a whole forgiveness and releasing and just connected in the higher realms with her, and asked for forgiveness, and let myself forgive myself for the fact that I was kind of being a brat in a lot of ways and wanted what I wanted, and wasn't really thinking on the level of the bigger picture and what all of that meant. So that was huge. That was also huge. And then just taking it back to, you know, I would never do that again. Like, even when I started the relationship with him, I had set very, very clear boundaries in the beginning. And the only reason that I broke those boundaries was because I felt that I needed to prove my love, my dedication, my devotion to him by taking our relationship to the level of being intimate, being sexual with him. And of course now, years later, realizing that I don't need to prove my worthiness, my love to anybody. That the person that I'm with, and that was old programming, that was old Christine, that always felt she needed to prove she was worthy to have somebody else love me back. So these are the things that I've been processing and working through, and clearing. Like, there's just such a release in my heart, in my solar plex. of all that I was still carrying that I didn't even realize. You know, Spirit is kind of showing me, like, you know, sometimes when we feel like we're not moving ahead, you know, I also talked about being stagnant, that we're not really making progress, that we're not moving ahead, that we're not seeing things manifest in the 3D world. It's because we aren't necessarily moving ahead in the 3D, but we are moving up. We are moving up in ascension. We are moving deeper into our healing. So it's not always about the forward momentum. It's about the what is this way? Vertical momentum also. You know, and every time we do, you know, I know I've said this a million times, but every time we do dig a little deeper in ourselves, it allows us to expand higher. And in that higher expansion is where we then unlock the next steps forward, right? So sometimes maybe we're stagnant moving forward because we're working this way. We are becoming higher and deeper in our process, and that is beautiful, you guys. Okay, so there's also been a lot of solar plexus and womb space, sacral chakra work that is being done. Again, it's all part of releasing that resistance to being able to do you, be you, whatever that looks like for you. It's not about holding parts of yourself back or having to shape or conform yourself so others will accept us. So, you know, so coming here and just sitting here with you guys and just babbling on about what's going on for me, you know, and what's going on for the collective, because it's not just me. My clients, people have reached out to me. They're going through the same stuff in this tribe. And so there's a lot of releasing that fear from our solar plexus. Also releasing of unhealthy attachments to our old programs, okay? There's also been a lot of sacral chakra stuff going on. And part of the activation that I did on Patreon is clearing that, bringing healing to that sacral chakra energy that we are being asked to upgrade at this time. But a lot of it's like these pre-birthing, these labor pains, these menstruation type cramps that a lot of us have been experiencing from divine masculine. There's still also pain in that lower area, that groined area, pressure, pain, you know, of things that are needing to be released. I know for me right now, I am being called into a place of being more comfortable, fully expressing all pieces of my divine feminine, what that looks like, what that means in just myself, not how I dress, not what I wear, not the roles that I play, but just my vessel being the complete and full expression of all the aspects that my divine feminine holds. And that means, you know, from the angelic, sweet, cute, you know, person to the fiery, raging, you know, inferno that I can be, all of the range, and allowing just me to be able to express that in my emotions and have it be witnessed, have it be seen, not just by myself, but by those around me, without me having to necessarily like put on a costume or get into the persona of, which again plays back into me being here sitting with you guys, just being me, not putting on that teacher role, that teacher hat, and having notes and knowing what I'm going to talk about beforehand. It's about just being that raw, vulnerable piece of you that you can just express however the fuck you want to express it. So yeah, so this is what's been going on for me and for the collective. So we are moving through. I'm also finding that I'm having, like, since I started processing all of this stuff last week, I'm having all of this like skin purging happening, like all this dryness, which I never have, like right through here. And I know it's part of like the shedding of the skin. That's what it's like. It's like the skin is like peeling and drying and flaking. And it's like that purge. It's I've done the work, and now, like back in the day when I used to purge, oh my God, I used to break out. I think a lot of us used to have these huge like pimples that used to come out, like big old like just messes. My face was a mess back early when I was releasing this deep emotional stuff, and now it's just, thank God, it's just a little bit. But these are the things we go through. Our body goes through physically releasing the emotions. They come out as physical forms, manifestations in our bodies, which can be aches and pains and acne and headaches and whatever. Skin problems. Spirit is saying like eczema is an emotional, they're showing me like it's like an emotional release of irritation and suffering, Spirit is saying. Emotional release of irritation and suffering, some sort of held on to pain, anguish, suffering that comes up from the skin that the cells are releasing. And so there's a healing, if that's something, I don't know why that came up, but if that's something that you suffer from, like eczema or skin related irritations like that, there's some sort of pain. They're saying like almost like a post-traumatic stress pain that you have experienced that is trying to work itself out, its way out through your body, through your emotional space, and through your physical space. Okay, so I did get a deck of cards. I grabbed the Magdalene Oracle, and I am going to pull, Spirit says one card or whatever comes out. We're going to see what comes out. And I'm just going to share a message. Now you guys know we're coming into, what are we coming into? The full moon, right? On the 31st, Halloween. And this is the second full moon of the month. It's a blue moon, it's a super moon. And this moon is going to lead us into November. And it's what is it in? What is this? I don't even remember. Scorpio? No, Scorpio's the sign we're in. Whatever, you know what it's in. Anyway, I can't even fucking think straight. But this moon is going to be super important. It's going to be leading us into the eclipse season of November. And these energies, you guys, you know, because it's in Scorpio, there is going to be a lot of intensity. But the intensity isn't going to be, what they're saying is it's not going to be like long lasting. Like there may be multiple episodes of things that come up, but if you address them and sit and be the observer and do the work, you will move through them very quickly. All right, Magdalene, whoa, okay. All right, so we will move through them quickly, but there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of karmic clearing, more masks falling off for the divine feminine and divine masculine. The divine masculine right now, and this is not necessarily your twin, this is just the masculine energy of the collective, is truly being required at this time to face their soul, who they are now versus what their soul is telling them, which is going to require them walking away from the things, the people that they always thought they wanted, their views of success, what makes them successful, what makes them liked. The masculine is now needing to walk away. Their soul is trying to speak to them, to help them see that these situationships, these relationships, these work experiences, whatever they are, aren't serving them, aren't truly where their heart, what they want. It's not nourishing their being. Yes, they're having fun. Yes, they're living in this very 3D reality of what success may be, what they've always thought, you know, having a big circle of people who love them, who respect them, who this, who that. So so they're fearing letting that go and following their soul, because they're afraid of what that will look like, what other people will think if they accept this other aspect of themselves, their true aspect of themselves. That means their whole worlds are going to change. And there's a lot of resistance against that. Does that mean they're not going to change? No. It means that Spirit is going to continue to bring the divine masculine moments, experiences that are going to be hurtful, painful, problems. That's going to keep bringing problems and bullshit into their world. Just crap they're going to have to keep dealing with until they realize the reason that they're having to keep dealing with this shit. So the masculines are going to continue to rise, continue to be pushed to accept their fullness, to let go of those fears, and to just be okay being who they are and having those people who love them, who don't, and fuck everything and everybody else. So the card that came out of the Magdalene Oracle is the Purgatory card. Okay. And I'm going to go with the book. I'm going to see. Oh, there it is. Where'd it go? I just had it. There it is. Okay. All right. So the book says, the emotional ups and downs you are experiencing are part of the healing process through which all that no longer serves you is being transformed and released. Though it may not seem like it, this is a positive time for you. To help facilitate the healing process, make a list of anything that you feel no longer serves a useful purpose in your life. Include in this list all negative thoughts and fears. Once you have made this list, practice the following meditation. Imagine yourself and everything on your list being showered by golden light. Now, imagine a beautiful violet flame emerging within this golden light. Imagine the violet flame transforming all negativity into golden light. Continue to focus on the healing power of the violet flame. Feel it as it transforms you, clears, and heals you. Transformation sometimes means that we need to let go of something, to trust in this process. All you surrender will be automatically healed and replaced with something that is more suitable for you. So just hold this space of energy, you guys. Ikuknyama niyeso se banana sa ni ko se fapadano no kopadana ye tatadia sa mananio totia sa patadia tatadia mananini nuluta kima sananie kapatadia sa sa mananu totopia sananieta iso fana cheka kakana nanieta tuyo soprena nia iso ne ta saka pa shene te seviata Yonista manekia patanesia nemanesia manesia capa senio tetia nanieta tetia. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So I don't know, that was something to help us clear that, to move into that space, to add to the healing of that meditative work that we can do. With that, you guys, are we ready? Are we done? Are we done? I don't know, hang on. Yeah, we're done. All right, you guys, I want to thank you all. If you guys want to schedule sessions with me, if you need help working through this stuff, please, the information, shamamahuntingowl.com, is below. In the meantime, y'all, I'll see you again really soon. I'm sending you all so much love and light, gratitude and blessings. Always, 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 beautiful souls. I love you guys all so very much, and we will talk again very soon.